What's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica from the Classic Line blog. You know I want to say God bless America when I'm standing beside the American flag. And I just want you guys to thank you so much for all your well wishes on, I'm telling my birthdays, passings of my family, this channel, buildings, new construction, old construction, rentals. Listen, the best is yet to come. Thank you so much for the 10 years on this channel. And I just want to thank you for all the things that you guys have contributed to my life and that I contribute to yours. And so listen, I hope this year can be even better, and I hope you grab the book, All Roads Lead to Real Estate. We're talking about digital real estate, online to the real dirt in your hand, and we'll have lots of good commentary inside that book to help you navigate how can you grow in this economy and also grow and play Monopoly in real life for you and your family. You guys, this doesn't have to be the worst time in our economy. It can be one of the best if you make a decision and move forward in your life. This is your girl Erica. Thank you. What's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica from the Classic Climb blog. Hopefully you guys can hear me, see me, let me know in the chat. Long and the story short, I moved the time earlier than I went outside and did outside stuff. Totally forgot. My bad, y'all. And I'm gonna tell you why and the math and the numbers on all this stuff in a second here. What's up, Nicole? Welcome being a new member on the channel. All right, let me go and get to it. As you can see on the thumbnail, we have small business myth, DOGE committee works, and student loans and ladder income basics. So earlier somebody had posted something about small business, and I had to correct them. Oh, I still have it. Hold on, let me see. Make sure I pull it up right. Just to clarify, because I think a lot of people are confused about small business and what they think about small business. So we have to help them. But again, we have the land grab course right there, $97. It'll be $497 May 6th after Cinco de Mayo. Hopefully you got your headache over. And then after that, sometime after that, maybe a month after that, it'll be $1,200 just because that's the going price in the economy for that particular type of material. And also after May 24th, we'll be on vacation till July, mid-July, maybe end of July. Not certain yet, but I have a method to the madness and I will explain why. Also the book, All Roads Lead to Real Estate, right there. You can grab it at that link. Okay, let's go ahead and get into it. It's late. You're here. Let me give it to you. And this is a simple Google search, and we can go back and research this off Chamber of Commerce information. So somebody said in the comments, and this is me not picking on y'all, I've literally used your comments, your messages. I use things I found on the internet, things y'all send me as ways to do a show. I'm answering your questions. I'm doing what is the Googleable thing, the SEO search thing. But y'all are confused about small business. Again, 11% of our society are the only people that really actually do small business. 11% of our society actually operate small business, because there are 33 million small businesses in America. That's 10% of our society. If you think about it, there's 330 million people, and then there's overlay on top of this anyway. So it's really a strong 10, 11%. There's a book called The Illusions of Entrepreneurship. It's a really great book, but our society's never had more than 11% of our people own the corner stores, be the big trading post, right? Everybody else was doing farms, agricultural, blacksmithing. They were doing their particular skill. That's it. They weren't running businesses. They were exchanging services and skills, right? If you actually look at the Roman Empire, which sounds terrible to look at, so the type of slavery they had in Roman Empire is completely different from America. Roman Empire, you had a skill. You were a blacksmith, you were animal worker, whatever your skill was, and you could move around the city, but you had either burns on your body or chains or paperwork to say you were this person's indentured servant. Okay. And it's essentially America, and capitalism follows that method to this day. And that's why I have to clarify y'all all the time that this is stuff y'all can research for yourself. Like, you don't have to be on the internet saying any old thing. You don't have to be on the internet embarrassing yourself. That's right. Greek slaves were teachers. That's right. So a lot of stuff is like, you have to understand, like, y'all be coming out here saying stuff on the internet. It's embarrassing. When I read it, I'm like, ooh, I'm embarrassed for you. Even though the average person in America doesn't read, you don't want to be out here like that, proudly quoting something that is inaccurate. Okay. So I've been talking about this for years, 33, and this is 2024, because somebody's going to say, is that COVID data? It's not. It's actually 2024. I mean, the government keeps really good track because they want their money from y'all. 33.2 million small businesses in the United States. It accounts for 99.9% of all businesses. And it means almost every business in America is considered a small business. And the numbers is funny because guess what is the definition is? Under 500 employees. So when y'all look on these charts and they say the biggest employers in America are like Walmart, Target, the university system. Well, some of these colleges only have like 1,000 people on staff. Some of these small colleges only have like 1,000 people on staff. Some of the bigger ones have 10,000 on staff, 5,000 on staff. So when y'all look on these maps, you're like, everybody works at Walmart or the school system. Yeah, the school system in most schools, most cities and states are a big job provider. When you got away from factories, when you got away from manufacturing, literally school system and the government are big hirers. So I want y'all to kind of divorce yourself from this information that most small businesses, because what you heard is you heard somebody like Tone Talks, Yvette Carnell, you heard some black person bashing black people because that's what they're paid to do. They're not paid to bash white people. That's never going to be what they're paid to do. And I meant that. Yeah, black people are the only person doing their job. Yeah. And part of the reason PPP loans were so harsh for black people and 40% of all black restaurants lost their business and never reopened is because everybody was what? 1099. And you got the PPP loan based off people who were employees who had what? A W-2 that you were paying taxes on. Right. So on top of 60% of black and Latino businesses having to run around and get their paperwork together, everybody at their job was what? Getting paid on Friday in cash, getting paid maybe sometimes by QuickBooks. Like it was a lot of 1099. We're like the graph I showed y'all earlier on the community wall, we're kind of already there, right? When you go to certain jobs, certain franchises, the children of the owner are in the franchise working. And then there's additional people helping, right? It gets to a level, and I'll show a few examples on here, but we're already there at that type of system, right? You have people sending their kids out to go get jobs at, Chick-fil-A, pizza places and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, they're still going to encounter like mid-30s adults working at Chick-fil-A, working at the pizza place, working at these food places, right? They're not going to have, that's why they've been complaining for years about teenage jobs. Where are the teenager jobs for teenagers who want a job, right? How can we get COVID data when it just happened 2022? I know. See, so Pisces, what people are, whenever people say, Erica, that's COVID data is old, they're talking any data from 2020 to 2021. It was a 1.5 year window, I would say 18-month window of massive movement, massive house buying, massive change. So by the time you hit 2022, some of these areas started to settle or we're absorbing all these people. Then you had 2022 to 2025. This is now the more reality, right? Like, yeah, some New Yorkers visit New York in the summer, maybe do an Airbnb there in the summer, but they didn't move back. They work in their job in the new city they live in, right? All the data shows out of the millions of people that moved out of California, only 10% went back. So this whole fake internet where you guys are getting absorbed by, oh my God, everybody's leaving Florida and they're leaving Texas and they're going back to California. That data is not true. Like we literally have U-Haul data. So, you know what I mean? Knock it off. It's really ridiculous. Okay. So, just on this screen right here again, definition. What is the SBA definition of independent business? It's fewer than 500 employees. And when you actually look up employment, the significant portion of the U.S. workforce is 59 million people work in a small business. Now, why you say, Erica, that doesn't seem high? Okay, because out of 33 million Americans, only 150 million Americans work. So cut that number in half, okay? So 150 million work. So now out of that 150 million, take 59 million out of that. All right? So we take the 59 million out of that, okay? What does that leave us with? I'm doing math live. I hate that. What is that? 91 million? 91 million people? I may be doing this off. 91 million people that work at what we call maybe bigger institutions, the big four, certain things, or a mixture of stuff, a mixture. Okay. Again, even here, you can keep going down, right? 17.3 million new jobs were created from 1995 to 2021, accounting for 62% of all net jobs created since 1995. The whole, I'm going to go work at corporate America, I'm going to work at the big four, I'm going to work at these big places, that's been over since the 90s. That's been over since the 90s. That was really, really dead in 2008. When people start telling you how they want to go to these New York and these big cities and work for these big companies, I'm like, what are you talking about? Now let's even break it down even smaller. This is a good one right here. This is from last year. I'm sorry it's not 25 out of. Now you can also do a look at black business. We can do that over there. We go here. Now let's get it down. Let's keep going down, right? While 33 million of these, while most of the 33 million firms don't have paid employees, about 6 million of them do. So let's even chop that down. Out of the 33 million, most of these firms don't have employees. They have what? Contractors, 1099. They're outsourcing. I keep telling y'all, majority of the people I meet that are white and get government contracts, they have outsourced every bit of that out. They don't have no employees. They have their the guy they pay to help them get contracts. That's about it. And then everything else they try to outsource. Right? When they try to go hire minority contractors to fill out some part of the subcontracting rules, that minority person goes then go find a Hispanic crew to go do the part and take his little 10%, 20%. Y'all don't understand how the game is played here, right? So out of that 33 million, 6 million of those people have actual on-time paid employees. But most people have some type of part-time work, 1099 work, food restaurants, all these places. They have some type of temporary way they're working at these places or connected to them. Okay. So again, this kind of argument that these small jobs are just a job for these people. These are the type of people that are going to get paid $1 million to $3 million. Their small business makes $1 to $3 million a year. Right now, what they pay themselves after they pay subcontractors and all the other stuff, and you see these numbers are very low. Again, business owners, and this is why you got to keep learning how the paperwork game is. They're saying they only make $50K, $60K, right? a year, but that's after they've taken off everything. Brandy can tell you that's crazy. Stop marking off everything. I'll see people's P&L and they'll make $1 million and tell me they only made 30,000. They done deducted their office, they done deducted their truck payments, they done deducted their house payments, they done deducted their cell phone payments, they done deducted everything, they done deducted their new underwear. They done deducted everything. And so now you out here running around telling people, see, business owners only make 60K. But every business owner thank you, Brandy. Every business owner running around with a Ford F-350. There's a black man I showed y'all on the community wall. I took a picture of him at an event. He does fences in Dallas. I'm talking about $1 million fences for the government in Dallas. He drove him in an F-350. Stepped out of it on the steppers. Came down and I said, well, how big is your crew? He said, well, my crew ain't that big. Sometimes I partner with this other company to get the stuff done. And this is the guy getting multiple $1 million of contracts. Like I've actually seen his work in the city of Dallas. So I want y'all to understand this ideal that you're going to start some company. You're going to have 20, 30, 40 people working for you. And it's so exciting. That's just not true. I had 3 of my companies in one building in Pflugerville. And so the coworkers be like, well, what are you doing? Well, what are you doing? I'm over here doing this. I'm in, they're in a whole different company. They're having conversations. It was funny because they're in completely different companies and had nothing to do with each other. Just multiple people in the office at one time. Okay, right? So you have to understand a lot of people are not clear on how business runs and the fact that, all the business I know owners are broke, right? So even here on the data, about half of small businesses in the US have 1 to 4 employees. That's probably their kids. That's probably their wife. That's their uncle, right? I'm telling y'all, big boss hog, middleman to millions. When you buy some of these businesses, what you're going to end up having, right? What you're going to end up having, because 10% of all revenue. Is this big enough? Let me make this bigger. Is this bigger? Can y'all see this now? I hope y'all can see this. Let me see. Y'all should be able to see it a little bit better. Try to make it bigger. Did that work? I think it did. All right. So here you say 1 to 4 employees. That's half of all businesses. They make up almost 10% of all the revenue of small businesses. People right here, $1 million to $3 million companies right here. Homeboy taking away $250 a month, $250 a year right here. Now, when you start going up, okay, that 10 to 19 employees, that's going to be your average HVAC company. That's going to be your average welding, plumbing company. But a lot of them plumbing companies, they got 2 or 3 trucks. How many ever guys they can hold on to? A boss hog and a sales guy. That's it. I'm telling y'all, when I go Apex Entourage in Dallas, they were teaching us how to acquire people's businesses. That was the average mock-up. Is they'd go into business. It's some older, he's in his 50s, 60s. He's tired. His sales guy's struggling. He's not getting a lot of help. He has a shift leader kind of, and then he has a few trucks with guys working. And they stay busy, but he wants more money. You see what I'm saying? Even when people own a business, I want more money. Yeah, Well, are you willing to get the business organized to get more money? 9 times out of 10, they're not. They're more willing to sell. Okay. So again, overall, these small businesses accounted for 16 trillion in revenue. Okay. So again, who runs these? Most are family owned, but the vast majority are not. Okay. So-called mom and pop shops account for a relatively modest share. Only 10% of businesses were owned by spouses, owned and operated together. 11% were generally owned by spouses, but separately operated, with men more likely than women to serve as the primary operators, right? People putting their wives on the paperwork, and she's, they getting the government contract because her name on it, but she ain't in there. Franchises aren't very common among small businesses. Just 5% of them were franchises. Men own the greater share of small business overall. 6 in 10 businesses, 61%, were majority owned by men in 2021, while 22% were owned by women. Another 14% owned equally by men and women. Okay. Down here, let's go there. It's important. 85% had a majority white ownership. Okay. Smaller shares of that were Asian American, 11%, Hispanic adults, 7%, and Black African Americans, 3%. And then 1% were okay. So you're thinking millions now. Don't think low. Bring back up to millions. Now let's go 33 million, right? Let me do the math for y'all. Because somebody gonna see what 7% black people. Actually 3%. So let's go right here. Okay, let's go 33 million with our cell phone times 3%. Right? That's about 1 million people. That's 990. And now this is 2021, of course. Now, we ain't gonna blame COVID and PPC, but you already know. So let's just say 1 million. Just for the sake of argument for this video, somebody gonna come back and no, we're gonna 1 million black business owners on paperwork. Okay. Now let's go back out of that 33 million and go times 7%. So Hispanics already double you there on paper. So that's 1 million black people, right? That's 2.3 million Hispanics with a business. And we ain't even talking about people who under the radar, under the cover. And we're not even talking about the black people who doing stuff off the radar, undercover. Let's keep going. Let's go. 33 million times 11%, which is our Asian community. That's 3.6%. 3.6 million Asian business owners. Again, this is 2021 record. Somebody's gonna complain. I'm just letting you know it's 2021. But most black people be trying to hide under the radar and not pay for stuff. So y'all already know this ain't no lie. Now let's keep it. Let's go 1%. That's 330,000 for our Native American brothers and sisters getting those government contracts and business period. Okay. So there we go. Now, when I say, now we're talking about legitimate business people. Now, despite owning small shares of these firms, only many Black and Asian Americans see entrepreneurship as a marker of success. Come down here. 30% of Asian Americans say owning a business is important on their vision of the American dream. And 36% of Black adults say owning a business is important to the definition of success, with another 22% saying it's essential, baby. It's essential. How old are most of these businesses? In 2021, most of these businesses open over for 6 years. 15% have been open for 25 years. Again, that 25-year mark, something happens along the way. You get older, you get tired, you're ready to sell. Okay. I just want you to understand the data's out here. Number of U.S. business applications trending up since before the pandemic. Again, more people have been applying. You see this pandemic number shoot it up though. Before the pandemic to get an EIN number. Okay. Now, again, on a state level, you already know Florida topped the list. This is 2023 data. Okay. Florida topped the list, California, Texas, New York, Georgia. But Missouri and Wyoming, Delaware, and Florida and Colorado have the most applications per year. Okay. Hope I didn't lose y'all. I know it's a lot of data reading. Hope I didn't lose y'all. Was that informative? Put one in the comments if you like. If you kept up. Okay. Let me get over to the next little page. All right. Again, Pew Research Center, a look, and this is 2025 now, February 15th. They did it during Black History Month. Okay. Black-owned businesses in the United States. Again, you see how they did this? They made sure to show you. Okay. There you go. Okay. I just want y'all to make sure everybody's on the same page. Despite this growth, despite Black firms grossing 60% per time of the span, an estimated 127 billion in 2017 and 211 billion. Okay, Mr. Romeo, where was you today? Hey. Okay, anyways, sorry y'all. Young people coming in dressed up. All right, let me keep going. White majority business owners, all that stuff. We already talked about this. 7 to 10 Black business firms have between 1 and 9 employees. 7 in 10 got 1 to 9 employees. Why is that common? I'm telling y'all, food service, healthcare, social assistance. Again, you're talking about, if you go look at the blackdemographics.com, the majority of the Black businesses are actually in construction and home healthcare. Not home healthcare, but medical related. So, even if you say, oh, restaurants and hair care places, and they're renting booths, yeah, that's true as well. But in the end, the data's out here. It's really good data out here, y'all. We don't have to lie, because this is the common sectors, just right here: professional, scientific, technical services, transportation and warehousing, 9%. Administrative support, waste management, remediation services, 8%. Retail trade, 7%. Accommodation and food service, 7%. So we're doing more technical, scientific, medical, supply, all that other stuff. Accounting firms, you name them, are in here versus food service. But that's, if you ever ask anybody, food service is what they're going to yell and tell you in your ear. Now, healthcare and social assistance is the most common sector among Black and African American businesses. Now, take a look at this, okay? You got healthcare, social assistance, food service, construction and food service, same neck and neck, okay? Finance and insurance, 3%. Educational services, wholesale trade, real estate and rental leasing, very low for a group that complains the most about housing. Other services, transportation, warehouses, there you go. All right, agricultural, fishing and hunting, our country brothers, okay? Holding it down. Mining, quarrying, oil and gas extraction, management of companies and enterprises, arts, creation, recreation and entertainment, utilities. Okay. So again, when somebody comes to talk to you about, somebody starts trying to talk to you about, barbershops and food stuff, be like, nah, Black people doing all kind of stuff. Knock it off. Okay. Now let me go on to the next. Let me get where I was trying to go. Where am I? Where's my little thing? Okay. Now, many of y'all, let me see this. Okay. So many of y'all, Ben Kelly one. This is important. This is why I want to show y'all this guy. Once you get a certain amount of capital, a business person tends to get, I'm just going to be honest, a lot of these business people I know, once things get steady and normalized, they get bored. They want to go do other stuff. This guy is just capital at this point. He worked for, was it Lehman Marcus or something to that effect? Was able to watch how people did things, was able to get business funding, SBA loans, and now has at 34, 7 businesses paying him $70K a month. Now I'm going to tell y'all like this, just 100%. I know social media people kicking in $70K in a month. Hold on. That door's back on us. Close that door right there. Say, tell her yes. Thank you. Hold on. I'm going to open it back up. Okay. Excuse me, y'all. $70K a month. If you want to acquire your first business, take a little money. Okay, so here's some stuff. Seller financing, SBA loans, personal guarantees, seller forgiveness. Again, this is a lot of stuff that Grant Cardone is trying to focus his attention on. He's helping these businesses sell more money, right? Now, he done found his golden ticket. That 10X Health is his golden ticket. 100% hands down. Don't get it twisted. Like that, the fact that Wall Street offered old boy $50 million to come buy Grant out, Grant wasn't going to sell then. Grant like, wait, somebody was offering you 50 mil? Nah, I'm going to hold on. And especially when you're making 17 million a month, somebody coming to buy you out for 50 mil ain't enough anyway. So let's let that go. Anyway, so long story short, this guy, Ben Kelly one, his whole page is him trying to acquire, I found this landscaping company. The whole stick is like, I run multiple businesses. They only making 70K a month. Now, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm really going to I'm going to frame this up a little bit better than how I'm saying it. He making 70K a month. He'll make 100K a month in one business, which is his digital business, selling y'all how to buy these businesses. Coty Sanchez. Alex Hermosi. They're going to make millions, not in the acquisition of the businesses they own, but in the acquisition of telling you about buying businesses. He's going to make more money instead of him buying this landscaping company for 1.4 million, which our friend that has a roofing company now, he sold, and this is why it's so important. It's easiest to sell a service business. He had 100 yards, and he had 100 yards and a couple big contracts, and he was just wore out. And he was like, I don't want to be in the sun. It's Texas, it's hot. And he sold it, and now he's with a roofing company. He bought a franchise roofing company. And so I just want you to understand, like, people hop in and out of these. These are not uncommon to hop in and out or start with one and be like, ooh, okay, I'm done with this landscaping company. Let me go on to the next, right? Because they'll get limited. They'll get capped here unless they want to add staff. They want to do other stuff. Again, imagine making 1.6 million for the year, and your cash home is 459,000. What's his take home? You know what I'm saying? Out of the cash flow. And that's going to be taxed too. So anyway, long story short, I just want y'all to understand, Ben Kelly will make $100K off digital real estate by telling you about buying businesses faster every month than he'll make out all these companies he owns, which is still important to own these companies. It's important to do the thing, right? So again, SBA loan, he tells you that process, seller financing. The business can't qualify for the SBA loan, right? They defer their tax, right? They can get more money depending on somebody wants to come buy them. The people who are coming to buy at most of these places are kids who are marketers or social media marketers who learned how to do ads revenue very well and have some money sitting aside, right? Or have enough credit to go crazy. Because when they had these ad spend accounts, that's how they were juicing up these credit cards. You know what I mean? Like, I hope I'm not losing you in the conversation. Right. So, you know what I mean? That's big money cash flow wise, right? But in comparison, I can tell you digital is going to be Ben Kelly. This guy, Ben Kelly, is going to make $100K a month selling y'all this and being your consultant to help you buy one. AM1, I don't know if you can see me. Oh no. I got an apple a day right here. It's apple, mint, and pineapple. Freshly blended up today. Got a whole stack of juices. You know what I'm saying? It's what we drink. It's what we take in. Okay. Let me finish this. Because I'll ADHD brain everywhere. So long story short, he'll be like, I got 20% or more equity for giving somebody 1 to 5 hours of consulting a week. And I'm telling y'all, there's some people who, y'all can go read this on your own. I'm not gonna read all of it to you, but the point is, a lot of these people who own these businesses, if they had outside counsel or this outside person they report to, all of a sudden the business gets better. Why does the business get better? Because people have a tendency to be trained to work for others harder than they'll work for themselves. And it's just a system. Will they work hard for themselves harder than they'll work for others? No. It's weird. I don't know how to explain it to you. It's a programming of our society. So again, he'll make more. He makes $70K a month from all the 7 companies he owns ownership in. He kind of just watches over them. They report to him. They cut him a little bit of the check from the companies. And they're his. He bought them. But if you pay attention, if you were to join his group and you do this, so the digital side of his business will probably make him $100K a month easy. It'll be his $1 million a year business to $5 million a year business, helping people learn how to buy businesses and walking them through the process. Again, he helped the school teacher buy a pool business. Revenue was 1.5, right? Prices 900,000, right? Again, so pay attention. Your business can be making 1.5 million a year, but you're only gonna be able to sell it for a little bit less than that, right? A significant piece less than that. So cash flow is 400,000. She hit the jackpot. She would 3x her money in the first year. How? Oh my God. She said working a teacher is too stressful. So now what? She decided, okay. She started working together in October 2023. And by March, she closed on a 300,000 cash flowing business. All right. So her criteria is something that makes her 200,000 per year cash flow to cover her $2 cash college tuition. I want you to hear that again. She wants to make 200K a year to cover her $2 college tuition. Because people know leaving college with debt is a stress. But anyway, let's keep it pushing. Located near the beach. She found a pool business located near Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach is dirty looking, but I get it. She want to be near the beach because if she got to spend time on this business or visit this business often, You want to be somewhere where you can enjoy it. Same reason I want to buy the beach house in North Carolina on the beach. If I got to come check on it once a year, if I got to go stay at it once a year, I want it to be somewhere nice. Same thing if I got something in the mountains of Utah or at a ski resort, or I got something in Panama, I want it to be somewhere where I'm willing to go check on it once a year minimum. Okay. Again, SBA finance, 90%. She had to bring just $99,000, which is $100K, to buy this business at an interest rate of 10%. Look at that, y'all. SBA coming through. All right. Essentially, business earns a lot of its money from resurfacing pools, fixing motor and leak problems. Okay. The smaller part of the business is them actually cleaning pools. The owner only accepted check payments. The website is outdated. Invoicing is all paper, no advertising. And they were still making $1.5 million a year. That means everybody knows this pool man's company. She was going to have to come in and market anyway. The owner agreed to help Melissa for the first 3 months as she has zero experience in the industry. And by the end of year one, she should cash flow $300,000. That's a 3x return. Okay, y'all. You know, in 3 to 5 years, Melissa upgrades the website, uses Facebook ads, takes credit and debit cards, has online invoicing. Cash flow should grow, and also the value of the business could go to the millions. Okay? So Melissa is used to managing people because she's a teacher, y'all. She also plans to buy a nail salon to scale up her portfolio. All right, y'all. Did everybody understand that? Did I explain that well enough? If I didn't, it's cool. Apple drink. Okay. Don't be undercover, man. Don't be undercover. All right. So I just want to make sure we all understood that before I go on to this. Okay. So again, you see the title of the video, why we're going over this. Let's break it down again. I just told you about businesses. I just told you about African-American business. Told you about Hispanic business owners. Told you the money they're making. Told you digital is still easier. Told you about Ben Kelly 1. Let's go here. Why is this important? What does this go into? Donald Trump sends student loans to collections. You know that's a title. They're going to milk it. 9 million people face wage garnishment. Now, immediately people were like, I would quit my job. I would do A, B, and C. Baby, they taking Social Security, disability checks. They taking it all. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself, right? Okay, so let's get into starting Monday. Defaulted student loans will face collection up to 15% of their wages garnishment, which is around the same 15% that is for child support. Tax refunds withheld completely. Social Security payments. This affects 5 million defaulted loans and 4 million in late stage delinquency. Now, my personal opinion, some of these people who are like super, like I ain't never gonna pay, they're gonna leave the country. They're gonna spend half their time in Mexico, half in Europe. There's a guy who they just had on CBC money video, and he'd been over there basically hiding out because he was in bankruptcy. That's all it was. He just gonna hide out. Okay, he not gonna pay. They showed a bunch of other people too. They were living in other places because they were like, I'm not gonna pay that. And sometimes the reality of the amount is so harsh that person doesn't want to face like, hey, if I could just work 2 years and get myself out of that debt, cool, it's over with. It's 2 years and it's over. Some of these people are like, nope, I ain't even doing that because they don't want to. It is what it is. But all this stuff is compounding. If you don't face it now, you'll have to face it later. That's why I'm laughing because some of these people think they're going to get Social Security, disability, anything happens, they're not going to get it. We have homeless people. Okay. Let's keep it pushing. Okay. If your credit score is 760, you lose 171 points overnight. That's make you 620. You'll still lose 87 points below, right? It's bad news. Ways to fix it. Now, again, I'm not advocating for all this, but I'm just saying loan rehabilitation, default resolution group, submit pay, basically make 9 payments on time. You're gonna pay. They'll remove your default damage permanently, right? Okay. A loan consolidation. Choose a new repayment option. Excuse me. All this stuff, new learn terms. I mean, again, I'm not gonna play it with you. If you receive a notice to intent to garnish, act immediately. Don't ignore it, act immediately. Now, why am I bringing this? This actually, you should look into loan forgiveness again for income driven, teacher loan forgiveness, Perkins loan cancellation, total and permanent disability discharge. Some of y'all done been in some accidents, public service loan forgiveness. Okay. Now, what is public service? You're gonna be working at them national parks, you're gonna be working at them schools in the hood, you'll be working, all them places, right? You get the point. Don't make me drag it out. My whole point is you're going to have to face it and figure out something, because ignoring it won't work. I remember the lady called Dave Ramsey, and she was from the Philippines, and some brother had married her and brought her to New York. And she told Dave Ramsey they were only making 30K, I think 45K a year in New York. And he was like, "What are y'all both working?" She's like, "Yeah, we're both working." And I work 2 part-time jobs. And he was like, "What is going on?" And she said, basically, she looked in the trash one day, and there was all this, I think for Morehouse, that's the craziest part. For Morehouse, basically he owed all like a 100,000 or more of student loan debt and wasn't paying it. And then when she confronted him about it, he got mad. And Dave Ramsey's like, "Look, you know what I mean?" The host said it, not Dave Ramsey, but it was essentially, you thought you was getting a meal ticket coming to America to go live in New York City with this brother, right? And he thought he was just getting a wife, and it was gonna make everything better in his life. You both tricked each other, right? So y'all both need to get serious, pay this debt down, but he has to face the debt. And when I heard that, I want people to realize there are people who go their whole life and live it like that. They'll go their whole life like, anyway, ignore, keep going. Again, that's why when y'all be telling me like the cost of living so high, I'm like, as long as your rent's paid, your car's paid, and you got insurance on the car, you good. And your phone, your cell phone. Everything else after that is not an emergency and it's not essential. I know people don't want to hear that, but they're not essential. It'd be nice, but they're not essential. He even put AmeriCorps on here in military service. Borrowers defense to repayment, closed school discharge. I mean, look all these up. I mean, it's important. But basically, a lot of people are going to be on here, crying, gnashing of teeth because, it's Donald Trump's fault. They ain't paid their loan in 10 years. It's somebody else's fault. It's always somebody else's. Now, again, let me show you this. Let me get over here. Okay, so I put it in the title. Oh, no, let me go to DOGE first. Let me do DOGE first, and then I'm going to go. Let me show this. Okay. This is Johnny Bravo. Usually talks about stocks, but is currently talking a lot about politics, but also stocks.
And spin your head right round, baby, right round. Record, baby, right. Sorry, my age.
One of the crazy things with regards to the Treasury is that when a payment is made, and the computers at the Treasury actually pay about $5 trillion per year, like crazy amounts, there was formerly not a budget code on there. So if a payment was made, you didn't know actually what it was for. There was a $4 billion COVID fund in the Department of Education, and there was no receipts required. So people could just draw down on it. And when people looked into it, this wasn't us, this was before us, they found that money was being used to rent out Caesar's Palace for parties, rent out stadiums, etc. And so the one change that DOGE made with Department of Education is we had the simple requirement that if you draw down money, you must first upload a receipt. That was the only change that was made. You must upload your receipt. And upon doing so,
yes,
nobody drew down any money anymore.
As soon as we asked for anything at all, suddenly the requests were like, "Oh, we don't need it anymore." Huh, that's interesting.
They were renting Caesar's Palace.
Yes, they were like basically partying on the taxpayer money.
These interviews.
Okay, so this is why this is important. You're going to have these people be like, "Erica, DOGE committee is wrong. Elon's wrong." And I'm telling you, all they asked, the only one change they made was, if you want to draw down on the money and you work at the Department of Education, just submit the receipt. I'm going to be honest with you. The Department of Education could go crazy. They could say, "Listen, every teacher, submit to me your budget for school supplies this year." And literally just, "Hey, teachers, you need $1 million in school supplies. Let's get it. Let's get it before they close the loops, right? Let's get it." And they're not doing that. They're putting together school parties. They're putting together retreats for teachers. They're putting together after parties. Like, again, listen, Brandy, you already know. Asking for a receipt, man, you already spent it. You already know. Wink, wink, wink. Somebody else paid for it. But anyway, and so in order for these schools, you got to understand, like, show me where you're spending the money, and we'll give you the money. That's all. We'll give you the money. And that's how, if you look back and they show where all the military was doing the crab legs and condoms and all this crazy stuff, you're like, who's spending this? When no one's looking, people just dig in the cookie jar. That's why I'm laughing about people being so upset about this. And I'm like, who's upset at somebody stopping people from frauding the government? Apparently Americans. I don't know. Let me play a little bit more and I'm gonna get out of here. Exactly. Somebody said how they partying and begging for. I'm telling you, they're begging for school supplies. But that's that's the union. The union doesn't care what the individual teacher needs.
That Jesse Waters did with Fox, Doge, Elon, Big Balls, a lot of stuff. Oh, and just so you can put a face to the balls.
Who's
So-
big balls?
That's that should be obvious.
Why do they call you big balls?
I just said it as my LinkedIn username.
I have to say, with all the laughing aside, the amount of fraud that this 8-year-old has uncovered is amazing. But bravo, everything is so bad. Why stock market go up? Me confused. I would love to help. Actually, David Rosenberg is going to say it better than I will. We are living through history. Only 0% of the time in the past century has the S&P 500 managed to rise 9 consecutive days, a 1 in 400 or a 3 sigma event. Guess what? Fully 80% of the time, this dynamic happened in recessionary environments. Not to mention, ahead of the October 1987 crash, maybe this bullish manic move isn't so bullish after all. Also, while we now have another quick top, ish, I just want to say congratulations, Jeff, for dumping $5 billion worth of your Amazon shares right onto the people that love to call dumb money or retail. There you
I just want you to understand, money's moving around. I don't know what y'all doing, but that's why we're having next week coming up. We have our financial summer guests, and they'll be back again at the end of the month before Memorial Day. I'm hitting the ground running. I don't know what y'all doing, but I'm hitting the ground running. Okay. That's why I'm teaching y'all the land stuff as soon as you can. I literally today just teaching the principles that I teach y'all. I was driving in my hometown, drove by, saw a land lot that I know I saw last month, drove by it. Somebody's already picked it up and they're building 3 houses on it. I said, oh, let me get out the car. And if you're in the land class, you know what I did. Y'all know what I did, right? We went right on over to the box, opened the box up, look at the builder plans, and who's the builder? And who is the architect that wrote this? Snapshot that picture, put it back in, and went on driving with my nephew. So anyway, it's a time to be alive, y'all. It's a lot of money getting moved around. Okay, let me go back to this. Okay, let me get over here. And if you're enjoying the content, put a 1 in the comments. Let's finish this out real quick here. Let me read your comments too as we can finish this out. Time to pay up. No more weeds, crab leg. Listen, man, they always gonna have money for the wings and the crab legs. Always. Y'all wondering if the wage garment will increase with foreclosures and tax lien inventory? I will say again, majority of the people that own a lot of the land that you guys are going to call on are old people. There are a few young people in their 40s and 50s, but they've inherited it and they don't care about it. That's why I keep telling y'all it's one of the easier ones to buy. Or if you want to play the game of like, well, you got 50 acres, we only want 40 and you can keep 10. Oh yeah, that's so much better because these people have gotten older. They're not maintaining all of the land. They don't have time for it. It's just various reasons. If people simply went to community college and transferred to in-state university, they would reduce the debt. Yes. And then you have young people and people's parents who don't want to tell them anything. My mom showed me a video today that her cousin sent her of some 13-year-old beating up his mom because he wanted to play PlayStation. And this kid had hands. I was like, let me tell you something. He'd be gone that day. He'd be at boarding school and then he'd be off to college. He couldn't come back because if he came back, we'd have to fight again. Borrower defense is very important. It puts loans in your forbearance until they're forgiven. That's nice. I see these videos of folks saying in so many words that they are not paying Uncle Sam that student loan money took. They're definitely living wrong life. I mean, it'll come back at some point when they want to close on a house, when they want to buy a home, when they want to sell a home, when they want to do any of these things. They can come back. Oh, you sold your house and it had 100,000 in equity. Yeah, them 40,000 on student loans. Thank you so much. Boop, got it. More high school students should do dual enrollment. They cannot charge a high school student college courses. Yeah, they should. It would save a lot of people money. They took all those high level math classes at university, but couldn't factor a basic interest. Come on now. Listen, somebody had this thing and they said, hey, it's getting 5% interest every month. Do you say every month or every year? And when I heard that, I said, man, you better go in there and make some kind of deal with them. Because if you let that lawsuit sit over there for years, man, you'll be paying big money. Thank you for the $5 super chat. How were they partying and then beg their parents for pencils and paper? They do it every day without shame. School putting on, it's the school. Like I love Abbott Elementary. It's kind of funny. Like the school's putting on stuff and you're like, y'all don't even have carpets for the children to sit on. What are we doing? Yes. Listen, what you'll learn and what I've learned in trying to like acquire businesses from older people, the word of mouth back in the 80s and 90s was strong. And if you started using somebody, you just kept using them unless they messed up, right? So some of these people started these businesses in 1994, 30 years ago, maybe 2005, 2008, and people just be loyal to them. And they keep using them, or they word of mouth to their neighbors and friends, and people keep using them. You will be amazed how many business owners have like terrible paper. Brandy, tell them in the chat, man. Terrible paperwork, terrible invoicing, terrible data. Like you got to come in and like fix their paperwork for them to even buy their business. That's the crazy part. That's why when people get mad about their business owners, our company makes $3 million a year. I can only offer you $1 million because I can't prove with all your data what your business even do. So the guys that I wanted to buy a company from, they wanted, they were going to offer them $1 million. They were like, oh, that's great. Somebody told them they deserve $3 million. I said, not with their paperwork and books looking like this. Good luck. Somebody bought it, but good luck. Medical school or law school. Also, the only reason I can see somebody taking out student loans. So I've had several phone calls. I'm not even going to be funny with y'all. I've had so many phone calls on this channel over the years where people have 200,000, 300,000 in student loan debt. I'm talking about 200,000, and some of them have been doctors, or a chiropractor, or a dentist, or pharmacist, random stuff, and they could pay it back. We've talked about it. Like, hey man, you making 157 a year. You can pay this back. Oh, I'm not paying it back, Erica. I'm just trying to figure out how to buy multiple rentals. And I said, well, eventually, when you buy the rentals, are you going to use the rental money to pay it back? Oh man, I don't even know. I'm telling y'all think I'm joking on these phone calls. Like I've had several people be like, my wife is tripping. I'm trying not to give it away, but the dude was like, basically him and his wife on the phone. He's like, my wife is tripping. I'm not paying these student loans. What I'm going to do is we're going to buy a bunch of rentals. And I'm like, she's more of the frugal person. And I was like, eventually you'll have to pay. They're going to come garnish, or they're going to come, I guess basically they were asking, is there a way they can go to them and kind of do a settlement? And I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure they can do some type of settlement, but student loans is the only type of loan you cannot file bankruptcy out of. So I get a lot of people were going from Dave Ramsey to Robert Kiyosaki. Like, I can't pay it off in 2 years. So instead, I'd rather make more money. And you can't outspend stupidity, but you can try. You can try. I'll just be honest with y'all. Elon just said, email me what you did this week. And these people went gnashing up. I'm talking about they at the office tearing their clothes in sackcloth like in the Bible, crying. It's crazy. It's wow. I have a great job, no student loans, going to community college. That's why I'm trying to upgrade my life and career. Government want that money. Yeah, they tired of it. Yeah, his mom can't buy the house, and then they make a documentary about housing, racism, generational. Look, bookkeeping is unappreciated. I'm telling you, man, these people be trying to sell these companies, and they books be atrocious. Jay said, taking over my family business meant trying to get the invoice and insurance in order. It's been exhausting doing the trade and fixing my boomer's parents' way of running things. Jay, God bless you. Keep working at it. Don't give up. I promise you, somebody's gonna come by and try to buy it from you or something. Because we have friends who have parents have a whole business in Ohio, and it makes $1 million a year. But if you were to ask somebody to come in here and explain the books, the systems, the payroll, it's a mess. It's paperwork all over the place in boxes. It's like a junkyard. It's insane. And their fear is like one of the parents dies and they have to go clean it up. Oh my God, what are we going to do? I said, you're going to have to take a month off work and come in here and clean it all up. That's what you're going to have to do. I mean, that's just honestly, you're going to have to come in here if your parent die and clean it all. Take a month off everything you're doing and clean it up. Pay your mortgage, pay your car bills. Tell your job you're having a family emergency. You need the FMLA, and then spend a month figuring out your parents' businesses while you crying. So, I mean, like, I just tell people it's better to do it before they die, right? Because you're going to be in there crying, not with no passwords and trying to figure out their life in boxes. it's better to do it while they're alive. Just being honest. Like, just take it over and do it. Honey, I believe you. I believe you. I mean, I'm just telling y'all, I've been on the phone and some of y'all scared me. Yeah, I got a new car. I went to Europe this summer. I'll be like, and to be honest with you, if you're that upfront with me when we do a phone call, I'm actually gonna roll with you. I'm gonna roll with you. I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, I'll send you to Brandy and some other people, but in honesty, I'm gonna roll with you. I'm saying, listen, what's the number? If it's 30K, we got to get to a month. Okay, your job paying you 10, 12 a month. Great. You got a great job. Great. Okay, now we got to figure out how to get you to 30K a month. 30, 40K a month, which sounds astronomical, but it don't have to all be done in 1 year. It don't have to be done with one business. If you just make an extra 30K this year from one business, you're still doing great, right? If you want to go grab, a couple rentals over the next 2-3 years, like really hardcore focus, that could be a way for you. All right. So, I'm going to roll with it. If you're on the phone with me and you're like, hey, I'm not paying. Okay. What can we do to get the money up then? What do we do if Uncle Sam comes in here and takes money out of your bank account? You saw that woman I posted on the community wall. They took 40K out of her bank account. And again, we should never have 40K just loose in our bank account, which again, to say, Erica, what about savings? I'm just going to tell you, I don't think you should ever have it just loose in your bank account. So let me go through this right here. I have. Now, again, at the top, I told y'all quickest is service businesses. If you start this weekend, you got a truck and you run around hauling junk this weekend, Facebook posts, that's the quickest. You'll make money every day this weekend. Hey, man, I'm picking up junk. I'll go give you a quote ASAP, $150. Let's go. You can get money super quick. All right. Okay. Quickest to $1 million is going to be digital. Hands down. I've done it before. It's the quickest. Hard to maintain though. You're going to have to spend some ad spend crazy to stay up there. But it's compounding, right? Like, I know just off data and math, if I do 2 videos a week, we stay right where we are. 3 videos a week is an extra 15% income, maybe 20% income. More videos than that, I've only done that just because I thought the channel was going to get deleted. So this all the time live streaming was never the plan. It was just, we were trying to keep the channel from being 1, deleted, 2, we were being shadow banned every single way. And 3, now we're just getting back to a point where, end of May to end of July, we'll just have 2 or 3 videos up every week. We've trained our audience for live videos. Now that Johnny Bravo channel you just saw, he's traveling all over Europe right now, but he's doing lives every day. He's recording a video every single day. Right. Because that's how he built his channel. Right. It's really one of those things. So let me go here. Easiest to sell is still going to be the service business though. This digital thing I have here, people have come and asked me, do I want to sell it? And basically all they wanted me to do was keep being the face and take a payout. I was like, no, that's crazy. That's work. That's going back to work for somebody. I could just do it for myself. That'd be retarded. Or you see people build these secondary channels, faceless channels. They build them like that so they can sell them. But I have heard multiple people's faceless channels and I still know their voice and I know I'm like, okay, I know whose voice that is. That's from another person. So, she had in the safety deposit box. I may be misquoting the story, but you may be right. At the end of the day, like, even then I wouldn't have it in the safety deposit box because there's more to that story. I'd have had, I'm telling y'all, just any loose cat. Let me tell you, in Sweden, in Europe, I know y'all saw the Den of Thieves movie too. They have all these little places over in Europe where people have cash, and if it sits there and no one checks on the safety deposit box in like 5 or 7 years, the bank can claim the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah. I just want to. I'll break that down further. Okay, I'll say that. So let me go here. Let's go here. When people ask me, what is ladder income? Ladder income is the left triangle. Ladder income is when you're able to consistently, or at least try to put $20 to $50 away every week or month, right? Let's say you're like, Erica, I'm delivering pizzas, I'm working 2-3 jobs. I can't. Again, if you read the books, if you took the early back in the day, 10 years ago class, foundations of financial basement or whatever, we did a lot of stuff. $20 to $50, and you're putting in the Stockpile app, M1 Finance, any of these fractional shares, and you're just consistent for the whole year doing it, right? Even the Acorns account that just pulls your loose change. Okay. This right here, $20, $50. You just have to start there, ladder up. Again, if you save $27 a day for a year, that's 10K. A lot of y'all could get what you need. You know what I'm saying? You can get what you need. You can get what you need. So 200 a week or a month, that's your next level. Where you consistently every week pull out $200. And it could be automation. It could be 10% comes off the top. You're matching your employer. Like this is a ladder system. Like you're matching your employer. You're matching your 401k. You're matching your free money they're giving, 3%, whatever. You're getting your goal is every week so much money needs to be going away from you into a active savings, because this is how you compound it. You have to compound this. 500 a week or a month. When you can say, man, I take 500. And again, that's when I was working my extra jobs. Like I'm taking this $500 and I'm putting it over here because I know in a month or two, I'm gonna have to rent a new apartment or I'm going to have to do something. Most people save with the intent to spend in mind. If I talk to most of y'all on the phone, the first thing you're saying is, oh man, I'm saving for my summer vacation. Oh, I'm saving for winter. I'm saving to go to Miami. I'm saving to go somewhere. It's never saving for the future per se. It's saving for an event. And that's okay. Like when I talk to my personal trainer, I'm like, what is this exercise for? Can I jump over a fence if a dog chasing me? Can I push myself up off the ground? Now, when I lifted my motorcycle up the other week, trying to load it into something, I was like, okay, now it makes sense. All that lifted makes sense now. I needed every bit of those muscles to get that motorcycle in there. I was struggling. Even though the man was doing 80% of the work and I was the 20%, I was like, come on. So 1,000. Okay, now you're talking big money. You're talking 1,000. Now we can really plan something, right? 5,000, 2 months of that, we can pick something. We could pick a rental property, we could pick a house, we can be picking land every month. You could do something every month. 10K a month, baby. What are we doing? Whatever you want to do is what we're doing, right? 25K to 100K. Again, if you could do this in a month or a year or a week, right here, you're just printing cash. And that's the next level. That's why it's outside the triangle, because most people ain't gonna be there. This is outside the triangle. Okay. In the triangle, you get your hands on 10K. Next best decision. What is your next best decision? And depending on who you are, some of y'all gonna say, well, I want to pay my car off, Eric. I want to pay my debt off. And I'm okay with that. Like that's a part of the ladder income plan. It's your plan. Personal finance is just that, personal. But the steps of, hey, I've got 40K sitting in a safety deposit box and they come take it. Nah. Nope. We have to. And if you leave money in an account, just to be honest with y'all, it's dead money. Because the bank don't leave your money in the account. Please go look up how banks work. Once you put that 10K in there, man, they put that 10K to work. They split it 9,000 different ways and make it to loans for other people. That's why I'm saying, if you're at a bank and you put 5K in the bank and they won't give you no loan, you may think it's because you're black. You may think it's because paperwork. You may think whatever. Take your money out that bank that day. Be like, hey, man, I need to close my account. Now, when you just close your account and you just got cash, the bank's like, okay, well, we lost, cash account. That's terrible. But if you're a bank, you're a person with a bank and you got bank CDs, money market accounts, you got a credit card with them, you got layers on layers, savings account with them. When you go to close your account, hey, ma'am, what can we do? How can we help you? Because it's work on that teller to close every single thing. Because I was on the phone with USA one day threatening, close all my shit. I'm mad with y'all, close all my stuff. They're like, ma'am, this part you can self-service, but the other part you have to do over the phone. And I was like, well, y'all ain't got no USA branches, so I'm gonna have to do it over the phone, right? But when he realized how many things he had to close, he was like, well, ma'am, how can we solve your problem today? Because he didn't want to close all those accounts. He didn't want to close all the bank CDs. He didn't want to close all that other stuff. And I'm telling y'all, that's how you go in the bank and actually get real service. If you're a person who always comes to the bank and you just cash your check on Friday, you take all your money out, maybe you leave $50 in there, they don't want to work with you, right? But if you're sitting here with stacks of like multiple products from that bank, like PNC, they gave us an option as soon as we came in there. Here's some cards, here's some lines of credit. Like when you're in there that way, that bank has to figure out how to keep you as a client. I hope I didn't lose y'all in that conversation. I hope that made sense. I'll move on from that, but I hope y'all understood that. But that's the point. Ladder income is so that we look back a year from now and we've been consistent with the 200 a week, a month, and we have something to pull from. All right. just being focused. Okay. So on the right hand side, this is business 101. We've talked about this in a million different ways, and I'll keep going a million different ways on it. How do you get leads? How are people talking to you? Right? How do you, this is the top of the funnel, right? Is it PPC? Is it website, organic, knocking doors, direct mail, Google, Instagram, social media, whatever way you get them, you need to process them. Now, whatever way you get them, you need to be able to know how many people have come into my information. How, like, I can tell y'all now without a shadow of a doubt, with my eyes closed, before I even go to the data, every year on YouTube, we get over 1,000 new customers that have never bought anything from me ever. They come on the channel and they buy something, all the various products and services that we have on the channel. Every year. How do I know that? I can go back in the data. I can look in it. I can look back in Stripe. I can look back in all my systems. They'll say, okay, these people are brand new purchasers. They're not, their name, their credit card, and their email is nowhere to be found in our system. There's no duplicates. This is a new person that you've never met, that's never encountered with you, right? Every year, like clockwork. I know that for YouTube. And so when people ask, do I care about subscriptions and all that stuff? Sure, that's important. Yes. But at the end of the day, I care, is it still 1,000 every year? If it's not 1,000 every year, we need to tweak what we're doing. We need to run ads. We need to go somewhere and do something different, right? Period. Right? We'd love to have 1,000 every month, but that requires a different system for us to make it run. Okay. So we know that from videos, we're going to get consistent every year, 1,000 new clients. And those 1,000 new clients can be lifetime customers, and they will eventually spend at some point as a lifetime customer with me $3,000 to $4,000. Okay. So it's very simple math. We make the videos. It's a part of a funnel. We we kind of break down all that and keep it pushing. All right. So someone asked, is the land grab course more in depth with these concepts? The land grab course is going to be essentially 32 modules. I think, and not right now, I'm looking at the thing. I think it's 32 modules. And the 32 modules, okay, out of those 32 modules, we literally tell you how to find land, who to sell it to, how to build relationships within towns, how to do entitlements. We already have an entitlement video out today, how to build, how to get banking, how to get funding, and keep it on repeat, right? How to build a 10K a month land flipping business, how to build a $1 million a year land flipping business, how to do $1 million in just one state or do $1 million nationwide. Okay. I'm going to have some screenshots eventually, maybe in 60 days from now, to put inside there just for you guys, just for those people who bought into the course. So you can see how I run 2 partnerships with my wholesaling firms. So that's eventually what's going to be in there. So right now you'll see about 5 videos available inside the course right now, but every day all the way to May 7th or 8th, we'll have videos put in there, and then I'll just keep updating y'all. We already have people inside the course who are like, dude, I just drove by some vacant lots. Hey, I just took a picture. Hey, I'm getting ready to send out letters of intent. That's what we want. We want you to take action, because how do you want to build your own database of people to interact with? How do you get leads, right? That's what we talk about. That's how we go through it. Okay. So again, my goal, first part, how to get leads, as you see there in the triangle on the right. Number 2 is get focused to close. Either email, video, sales letter, phone, text, whatever we have to do to close them. Now, once we've got those 2 right there, that's a business. I get people in. How do I get people in? Okay, again, we have the magical 4 C's that you learn in Digital Liberty Warriors: community, consulting, coaching, and courses. It's the deadly 4 C's that everybody on the internet is terrified of. Oh my God, they're selling courses. And I will tell you hands down, the reason I say the quickest to $1 million is digital, because the amount of people that will need you to do their swimming pool is infinite. But how many can you physically do their swimming pool for? It's a limited number. How many people can I reach with digital content? Millions on millions on millions on millions. There are people who come in my comments daily and reach out to us via email. We get anywhere from 100 to 300 emails, depending on if we're doing a launch. If we're doing a launch, we get ridiculous numbers of emails. Excuse me. If it's just a regular day, we're still going to get about 58 to 100 emails. And the percent of those are like, I don't know my password. I can't log in, or I'm trying to find something, or, it's just random. And then there's a significant portion like, what's Erica's calendar link? How do I reach out to her? How can I get an inner circle? There were 3 people this weekend who tried to buy the inner circle, had a problem, email us, right? All right. So that's kind of how that goes. Okay. So again, those two parts, that's a business. Number 3 is get others to complete the phone calls, the task, the job, whatever. My goal, excuse me, the grass got me today. Ant dog, there you go. Stop it, ant dog. Stay on track. Get others to complete the phone calls, tasks, jobs, whatever. Why is this important? Get others to complete the phone. If not, if we're stuck at the first 2, what did we create for ourselves? If we're stuck at the first 2 right here, I need y'all participation. If we're stuck here and here and we're doing it all ourselves, what did we do? What did we create for ourselves? We're just stuck at this level and this level. What did we create for ourselves? Put it in the chat. Participation is needed. Get in here. If I just do the first 2, if I got PPC, website, organic, knocking doors, I'm direct mailing, I'm Google, I'm Instagram, and I'm social media, and I'm doing all this work every day, right? And then I got to get on the phone and I got to close people. I got to email them. I got a VSL. I got a phone. I got a text. What did I create for myself? That's right. A job. Thank you, Jay-Way. A job. Okay, now there's nothing wrong with this being a job, but you need to figure out, you need to get a sheet of paper today. What are the top 10 things you do when you come and log into your computer? What are you doing? How do you do it? Immediately, out of those 10 things, who can you give that to somebody else? That is your first job. Now, many of you can say, Eric, I just need a VA. I just want to pay somebody $100 a week. If you're making $10K to $30K a month doing this as your personal job, you need to figure out how to pay the first person $3K. And the first thing you'll say was, no, Erica, no, that's my money. That's $3K for me that I could go be eating out and get my nails done and massages and acting a fool and my beach trips. Like, nah, don't think like that. Take that $3K, because a lot of you ain't there yet, but take that $3K and you're going to pay somebody to either do the phone calls, the tasks, the job, the whatever. Now, if it's a digital business, which a lot of people are going to like better for various reasons, if it's a digital, you're going to be having social media manager. You could be having an operations manager. You could have somebody just follow them customer service calls, right? When I bought hair from the main attraction and they ran all these ridiculous ads on Facebook for like 2 months, they ran nonstop ads because Myron Goldham told them to run nonstop ads. They sold out everything. So by the time they got me my box of stuff, they were like, ma'am, and they had 2 different workers call me. Hey, we just want you to let you know we ain't got your stuff, but we're giving you a credit and we're going to give you some extra stuff. How about that? Now, I, as a person in business, I already know what it is. They ran so many ads, they sold out everything in the warehouse and then some. And they're playing catch up to go order more inventory and make it, right? Make the inventory because they got to make the bottles of stuff in order to do all of it. I understand. I ain't even mad at them. I'm like, salute, sister. That's how it should be. You should be ran out of everything. And I was even more happy because I guess, let's be honest, you have Black consumers. Oh man, I bought this thing online. I didn't get it. It's a scam. No, she had 2 workers call me, email me, text me. Oh, we're going to get you your stuff. And I love that. They overwhelmingly did customer service. But this is also a problem when you work with certain type of communities. You're going to overwhelmingly have to do customer service. If they call J-Way parents they locked out of their house, and then you try to sell them, tries to sell them an extra key, and they like, no, I want no extra key. Just give me my key and get me in my house. Then they lose their extra key. Now they're going to call J-Way and be worse. Can you give me an extra key? Be like, bro, I'm going to need to come back and open your door of your house again. Right? So you got people that are going to do the most, right? Somebody letting Brandy do their taxes. Hopefully they didn't get on Brandy's nerves, but they might be getting on her the last nerve. And so she got to say, you know what? Hold on. My assistant can help you. My other office people can help you. I'm over here in the, I don't know, taking them in intake. I don't know. Right? So everybody has to have a role that they play. And if you're really great at just the face of the business and the behind the scenes, the work, paperwork stuff bores you to death, do it for as long as you can so you know how it works, and then immediately hire somebody. Like, I don't think y'all understand immediately, right? Like, the only difference in when I go to Apex Entourage is a lot of those like hillbilly, funny, joking white boys in pickup trucks. They're like, all I did was wrap my truck, right? They got phone numbers on the truck. The truck's completely wrapped. They drive around Dallas, living their best life, but they had somebody else answering the phone. On top of that, they had a sales guy running to do the estimates at the houses. And then they paid what? They paid other HVAC guys to do the work. So somebody had to be the marketing. Somebody had to be the leads. Somebody had to drive the truck around town. And y'all think I'm joking. Those wrap trucks, I'm telling every guy I've ever met that has a wrap truck, whether the guys take it home and park it in a neighborhood, whether they driving around town, they phones ring off the hook. Off the hook. Off the hook. Okay. So again, once you get that system down, right? You get that system down on repeat equals system equals money. That's it. That's it. Right? You can juice it up. You can clean it up. You can go to all these trainings with Grant Cardone and Carlos Reyes and all these people, how to make your employees more enthusiastic. Let me tell you what's going to make them more enthusiastic: money. Yes, people want purpose, but here's the thing. They always say, well, if somebody's at a company and they can't grow, they're going to leave the company. Yes, A players, if they at a company and the company is just kind of feeling stagnant, they just come and do the same thing, they're not really having a growth year or purpose or a plan. Yes, you will lose A players because they want to go somewhere where they feel like the company is going to try to make 5 million this year, 10 million this year, 20 million. But B and C players, what we call the wall holders of the business that ain't going nowhere, they like it just the way it is. And coasting's bad. You're either growing or dying as a business, but you can have a couple push years. You can have a push summer, or you can have a push spring, push fall to make the staff feel more involved. Like, hey, we're going to go to this conference. They come back from conference and then you kind of give them new numbers, new quotas to fulfill, more work. And then you kind of lay off. You do it for 90 days and then you lay off a little bit. Then you come back up with a new plan, right? You're basically entertaining employees at this point. This is why so many company workers and so many guys who are in service businesses and blue collar, they'll do it themselves. They're like, I'll just do it myself. You know, I let my wife help me on the paperwork because having to motivate grown people is exhausting. Simple as that. It is very exhausting. But yeah, I'll just be honest with you. The quickest money is going to be service. You could do something with your hands this weekend, right now, run every day, do service. The quickest to $1 million though is going to be digital. And it's going to feel easier. It's going to feel easier. Not always, but it's going to feel easier once you get a flow to it or you get ad spend on it. Jay Way. Okay, right here. My family business is a do-it-all-yourself operation. Once I get control of the money, I'm hiring someone to answer the phones and bookkeeping. Yeah. ASAP. I learned how to use banks, products, and services. Really helped me. They treat me a lot better. Anthony Bass, we literally in the video where I taught how to get more money for your business, we did the whole live training, financial checkups. Y'all saw we did that for series for a minute inside that class. Everybody in there, they had banks. They're running a ton of money through. Once they learn how to start using the bank's credit cards, getting lines of credit, being able to be seen by a bank, just a few different steps. Again, you got to realize all this compliance at these banks is now done by AI. So they're just looking for certain paperwork. They're looking for certain slots to be filled. And if it's not filled, they don't want to hear it. So I'm just trying to give y'all a heads up. Like, that's why when we put out these financial trainings, we put out people on the channel to teach y'all stuff. I strongly suggest you take advantage of it. I strongly suggest. Okay. So anyways, you guys, this is your girl, Erica. I think I'm out of here. Did I miss anything? And dog, Myron Golden is going to be a person that people attack over the next year because he charges $50,000 days and he charges $350,000. It's called $350,000 a day. It's just a marketing because what you do when you come in there, I'm going to tell you right now. What you do. You come and spend that $350,000. You're going to come to Myron Golden's and they're going to do their little live training in there. You're going to be able to fly the plane one or twice. Excuse me. And then what you're going to do is their staff, there are 4 or 5 people in the back, really 10 at this point. They're going to take your laptop because you got to bring it. They're going to log into your ad account. They're going to say, did you film your ads already? They're going to line you up. They're going to lace up your ad account. And the average person that spends that $350,000, they make it back the next month. I'm talking about not over the next year. They make that $350K back the next month. Because when you know a little something, you can sell it for a lot. When you have a whole ads team that all they do is ads, they don't do nothing else. And you come back there and they tell you, let me tell you what you're going to do. You're going to provide me this video, that video, that video. And we're going to run these ads nonstop. And you're going to make that $350,000 back the next month. And I don't think y'all understand, the average business owner comes and they do organic, they do what they think they can do, they do how they organically do stuff. And it's not till they go to Grant Cardone, Carlos Reyes, they go to Myron Gold, they go to see people, they go, okay, set up all these systems. That's why Connie Smith made so much money for many years. Here's the systems you need to step in your business. And they're like, oh my God, I don't do any of this stuff. Ask Brandy, man. Ask Brandy. Ask some of these people that are accountants. They'll probably tell you they ain't got no kind of systems. There's money coming in all the accounts. They using Cash App. They using Zelle. They using everything. It's all over the place. I promise y'all, on a year that I didn't know what I was doing, I made over 200,000. When I didn't even know what I was doing, I was on different shows. I didn't even know what I was doing. So I just know when you put a tilt to it, I've actually seen behind the scenes in certain masterminds I paid to be in the room. I've watched people make $1 to $3 million off of just push and organic and a couple viral moments and like posting every single day, sometimes twice a day to Instagram for a year. I've seen them do it. It's not undoable. But it does take some push. So Myron Golden is going to get hate for a while because he's just like Tyler Lamar of Traffic Conversions. Him and his wife do an amazing job. They help a lot of Black entrepreneurs run their ads and get their stuff together. I completely understand that. But they don't get the ire because they have so much consistency. They have so much consistency and they have such a loyal 3,000 people online at any time fighting you. I go to Tyler's thing every year. He helped me with my ads. Myron Golden, what you're seeing is there's a certain group of Black people who went to him and made a ton of money that maybe we don't like, right? And then there's a ton of, he is very much a crossover. There's a ton of white creators that he works with and have made them a ton of money, right? And so when a Black person no longer pigeonholes for our community, they can go anywhere, work anywhere, they don't respond. And so it's an attacking a giant, because the giant won't ever respond, but you get traffic because you're attacking a giant. So hope that made sense. Erica, what would you say to someone who doesn't necessarily have a product or a service to offer but still wants to get ahead financially? Focus on what I said on the left calendar. If you watch my channel and you don't want to start a business, you don't want to, I mean, again, all we do on this channel is talk about high ticket affiliate marketing, reoccurring income with digital products, launching, and really as of late, flipping land. We talked about tax liens forever. If you don't want, the only way you're going to increase your income and get ahead financially is the left triangle. Where are you going to put $20 to $200 a week or a month away for the next 3 years? If you're like, hey, Erica, I don't have no desire to start a business. I just want to go to work. I want to come home. I want to watch Netflix. I want to be in my pajamas. It's all mining the gap. How can you mine the gap? You're going to have to play a mental game with yourself of how do you mine the gap, because that's your only leverage. If you don't want to do stock market, that's a leverage. If you don't want to do a business, that's leverage. If you don't want to do any of these things, you just want to work your job and come home, it's always going to be mining the gap. And where do you put an extra $20 to $200 away a week or a month? That's it. That's your only choice. Like people say, oh, there's a million ways to make money. They're lying to you. There's a million different different variations of way to make money. But the three have always been for over 200 years in this country: real estate, business, stocks. And Black people at one point were property. So you do the math on that. Okay. And you could also take insurance in the stock market on the slaves. Okay. So come on now, get it crazy with you. I mean, it's been going back forever. Insurance is a cold game. It's been a cold game forever. Right. That's why people want to sell insurance. It's something the government tells you need. You don't obviously use it, and they never give refunds. Okay. So your goal at that point is to figure out, how do I get out the highest paying job possible for me? Right. So that I can put more money away. That's it. Pretty much. You don't even need to buy a lot of product with your bank. If you have at least 20K in savings, you'll receive red carpet treatment. This is true. But again, if you're leaving 20K in your bank, you're leaving it there as dead money. That's dead money. It's dead money. That's a thank you to the bank. Thank you. Here's 20K just sitting here getting less than 5% interest. Maybe less than 1% interest if you're just leaving it in your checking account. That's why when people say they don't buy products with their bank, I'm like, okay. So you're just giving them 20K? Okay. That money is not being put to use at all. That's just sitting there. So, and part of the reason we consistently, oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. The reason I keep doing these videos and talking about some of this stuff is I already know how people are. I'll be on here talking for 6 months on something and they'll be like, I just came on here to your video for the first time. What is this? And that's why I say I just 2 videos a week. If you just maintain two videos a week on your channel, it'll keep your channel growing. It'll keep it consistent. And at that point, let's say you want to go away. Let's say you want to go away for 6 months. It's all ad spend at that point. Pre-recorded and ad spend. Just being honest. Just being honest with you. Working on certs for water mitigation in Florida. I'm an insurance adjuster, so I know that business is adjacent to my career. Baby, lots of money in anything with water in Florida, plumbing in Florida, any issues with drainage in Florida, you'll make money for the rest of your life because Florida will always have some Florida issues. Okay. That's just being honest. Okay. Let me finish this out. Let me see anything that missed. Oh yeah. This right here. I want to assist my dad with his roofing business, but he's terrible with finances. So at this point, Davey, you have to decide what angle do you come help your dad in? Is it doing work? Is it is it doing work? Is it bringing in more deals? Is it bringing in more sales? How do you want to help the roofing company? This is always what you have to kind of look at it. How is it because if you're just doing more work, is it helping him with his back? Is it helping him he's tired? Right? All that good stuff. Right? Crossroads Nation, relax. You're gonna get access to it. You'll be in there before you know it. Let Melissa and Enrique do their work. They'll hit you up. You'll be in there. I need to know how to start a business, but I don't have an interest. Learning and earning, please go sit down and just review. Do a self check. Anytime somebody says this to me, I want you to go home, sit down in a quiet room, and then write on a piece of paper what you want to do. Because template businesses work for everybody. You just create another job. You must have systems, exactly. Please stop with the tariff talks, y'all. This sounds like a drop shipping question. Please stop with the tariff talks. We brought in $15 billion this last month off tariffs. Tariffs help this country. Please stop. Slaves were on balance sheets as assets. That's right. All right, you guys. Since my family is turning the volume up on the TV in the other room ridiculously loud, it's time to wrap this up. So anyways, you guys, it's your girl, Erica, Classy Clown Blog. If you have any questions on the thank you so much right here for the $5 super chat. Thank you for joining YouTube member. If you have any questions on the courses, anything like that, hit our setup, hit our staff up. Love you to pieces. See you guys soon.